And this is where we look at Tennessee's offense, running a vertical switch. Josh Heupel's had a lot of success over the years with this play. Really simple, especially if you're running 4 verticals pretty similarly, to have this one in as well. They'll do that at 20 personnel, they'll do that at 10 personnel. But we'll look at the variations they had this past year that we noticed. Right here on this first play they were showing, they're in 20 personnel. They're running their vertical switch. Down here, you could bend right there on the outside. And the slot receiver, instead of just going to it right now, he goes vertical, and then he bends behind, still pushing that thing to 10 to 12 before he has that option to either go vertical and will it or to set it down if that corner's over the top. The outside receivers, he's bending right here towards the seam. He can obviously go vertical. He can bend that thing across, and there are a couple clips where he even sits it down, but we'll look at them and talk about them as we go. Whereas you see play action, trying to get those guys to step in. 3-on-2 out here on the outside. As you see, he's coming at a bit of an angle. He goes vertical just a little bit, the slot receiver does. Then he sticks his foot in the ground and starts working to the outside to the numbers. And as you see how they're playing this, outside back for whatever reason steps in, thinks that it may be a run. So now it's 2-on-2. These guys trying to switch this thing off. And as you look at it, the seam, don't really like it. Could probably bend that thing a little bit harder. And right there, this safety's going over the top. So the slot receiver's probably going to sit this thing down. Boom, shoulders over his toes, start working back. That ball is out right there. So again, 6-man pro, looking 1. Doesn't really like it, go outside. The safety's running over the top, so that slot sits it down. Good time on that throw. Once those hips go down, that ball's got to come out. And that's really what happens right here. So he's waiting for those hips to go down. Boom, his hips are going down. Now that ball is getting out. He's anticipating it just a little bit. Good throw and catch right there. Tons of space. Makes the guy miss right there. Gets into the end zone there. First game of the season versus Ball State. Here's a look at it, 10 personnel for Tennessee. And again, going vertical. Outside right there. Chance to sit that down, throw the top. He's going to run in right there to the seam. Good chance to bend right here. Safety is way off right here. Tons of space here for that seam if this backer drops outside at all. So really this seam could be a good throw right here pre-snap. Good pro here, 6-man pro. As you see, those guys are almost stacked up right there. He's going to bend into that window. Tons of space there in the middle, especially that safety's playing off. Once he sticks his foot in the ground, that ball's out. You can see how deep that safety is. No chance to play that seam on that. A little bit of pocket movement right there. Good job stepping up through it. Tons of space there in the middle of the field to throw that with that safety playing that far off on a 3rd and 10. Easy completion right there. Obviously right there, it's second quarter with 7 seconds. So right there probably playing off. Trying to keep those guys from getting into field goal range. Well, that didn't work. So right there, you're supposed to play down the field goal range right there on that with that safety playing off. Good call right there going to the middle of the field. With nobody there, they're obviously trying to keep you from throwing to the sideline because you don't have any timeouts. Right there getting to the middle of the field. And there's the sit down right there. Get him close to field goal range on that. Might have pushed it a little bit deeper than what he typically would on that because they're trying to get to field goal range. But good play, good execution. Got down to field goal range, give him a chance. Here's a look in the Alabama game. Again, going right here with their vertical switch. And down here they run something a little bit different. This might be their man beater over here, zone beater over here. And what they do is run a little bit of a rub. He comes off, tries to get that rub. He slants right there in that window. They're playing zone. You probably don't like this side. Probably rather go that side for zone. This side down here for man. But we'll look at it real quick, see what happens. Get pressed right here. Releases. Safety's a little bit flat-footed. Gets behind, stacks in behind. Now he's going vertical to the outside. Safety had filtered over the top of it. And as you look at it, corner's jamming right there. And then he sees this outside release. He falls off. So now it's one-on-one with that safety who's a little bit flat-footed. You got a little bit of leeway to work. And so they let that thing go vertical. They actually get on top of him right there. Don't quite connect. But you can see what they're doing right there. Flat-footed safety. Pretty good option right there. This is a 4th and 6. So right here, you got to get this ball out. You got 3 defenders down here. And you got 2. You're really looking for whoever's going to be that one-on-one. So right there, he gets that one-on-one. If he would have been way over the top, he probably had a chance to bend it or maybe sit that thing down. But since he was flat-footed, he tried to outrun him. And they took that shot. Pocket's getting a little bit condensed right here. Might be kind of the difference in that throw. But right there, they get a step on him. Probably hoping to either set that thing down the seam or set it down on the outside and get a completion for the first down. But right there, had to push it vertical and had a chance for a big play. Just weren't able to connect there for Tennessee. Here's another look. Same play here for Tennessee. Again, getting a bit of a rub here on that slant. He's going there. And that's probably going to be your man beater if you're seeing man. But right there, they're playing zone. They switch that thing off. Don't really like it. So he's going to go down to the bottom side. They run their vertical switch. Can't really see it, but pretty sure that's what they're running. It's right there. There's that slot. He goes into the outside. He's bending into the window right here at 3rd and 6. See, this safety's playing way further off than the last play. And right here you can see receiver bends into that window. Linebacker really just kind of sitting around. He's just eyeballing the quarterback. So that is a huge window right there to throw the ball to. But right here, as you see, Pocket's getting condensed, and the hooker's not able to really step through it. Throws it high, and that safety playing deep is able to come up with a pick. Throwing those seams high, getting that pocket condensed, can give you a little bit of trouble right there, but you can see that seam was open, just missed high. Safety sitting back there, just kind of hanging out, not really guarding anybody, but he gets lucky. That ball's thrown to him. Big play there for Alabama. Run the verticals down here to the bottom. You can watch it, see what takes place. Again, he comes off vertical, then he slides in behind. Going vertical to read it. There's the bender. You can see him sticking it. He sees that safety on the top, sticks it, trying to bend across his face. 59 here is a little bit lost. He's kind of in no man's land. He's not dropping underneath that vertical read at all. So right there, throw it outside, get the completion. It's 3rd and 19, so they're not quite at the sticks. But right there, it gets him down there close. Chance for a 4th down, or maybe a field goal. It makes the field goal a little bit easier. But right there, you can see what's taking place. You got the bender, comes in, bends across his face. The guy outside setting it down. Linebacker doesn't quite drop underneath it. Take your completion. Good execution right there. Not quite a 1st down, but getting up there close to it. Here Tennessee has their backups in, but they're still running the same thing. Again, they're in 20 personnel. Interesting thing is to watch this slot receiver right here. He's going vertical, and he actually has to almost make a cut and round around that before he goes vertical. Probably want to get a little bit wider split so he doesn't have to slow down right there and play a little bit faster. But right there, you can see how he understands he's got to go underneath that to try to get that rub. They're getting held up a little bit, somewhat of a jam, but I'd say this receiver just needs to widen his split a little bit so he doesn't have to do that cut right there and slow himself down. The chance to go vertical, but right here, as you're looking at it, a little bit of pressure. So right there, Milton gets out, a little bit of pocket movement, and right here, instead of throwing this to the outside, I think because he's moving, he understands, hey, it's one-on-one. These safeties are flat-footed. There's really nobody deep. It's just a race there with my guy to the end zone. Obviously, boom, you could throw that to him right there. Hips go down. Ball goes out to that back shoulder. But right here, he just works it out of the pocket just a little bit, and he realizes, hey, there's nobody deep. My guy is obviously going to beat this corner. We're at Tennessee. That guy's at Akron. Good accurate ball right there, right in stride for a touchdown. 20 personnel here again, wide splits. You can see it's just 2-on-2 out here. He's going to go inside, going vertical. Could bend, could sit. He's going to go vertical and stack in behind. See what happens and read that out, since everybody knows it's just a one-on-one with a little bit of rub. And right here you see, if you're watching the rub, he's going there to the seam. He gets a little bit caught up in it. This slot receiver already knows that he's pretty flat-footed. He's not going over the top, so probably not going to be able to sit down. So he is rolling, knowing that he's going vertical. And obviously having a big arm quarterback, they can throw that thing out there. Creates an explosive play and touchdown there for Tennessee. Just that little bit of a rub with those wide splits, knowing that you're one-on-one. 7-man pro gets just a little bit of a rub right there on that safety. Creates a big play. Creates a touchdown there for Tennessee. Here's a look right here. Running their vertical switches down here. They're getting a bit of a rub. Again, that's man beater. And you got your check down. So right here, if you think it's zone or know it's zone, look in that direction. I'm going to look to the seam. Boom. Don't really like the seam. Safety could be a little bit tight. Could possibly throw that right now on his body. But still, that safety's kind of tight right there. But it is a big window. But for whatever reason, Hendon Hooker doesn't like it. If he would have dropped outside, got his eyes outside a little bit quicker, he's running right underneath that vertical read. So that's really a non-factor. Finding the check down right there with the running back that's working on the linebacker that he should be blocking if he blitzes. Give it to him. Gets a completion. It's definitely short of the sticks right there, but you can see what they're looking for. So you're looking there, don't like it. VR doesn't like it because that guy's dropping hard to it. Now there's your check down. That's working, finding space for you right there. Give yourself a viable option to at least get a completion and see if he can work up to the 1st down. I thought this is a really interesting look, and it's an interesting look because of what this outside receiver does. Again, he's coming here to the seam to possibly bend it. They're playing man, and you can see he's over the top of him just a little bit. So instead of bending it, he just sticks his foot in the ground and he ends up curling it up. And Hendon Hooker's on the same page. They throw it to him right there for a completion, get him close to the 1st down. But again, that corner manned up. He's not able to get over the top of him. He could bend that thing across and just run away from him, but right there he just stops and treats it almost like he's running that VR outside. And right there you can see outside they're running that VR as well. Guy goes over the top. If you wouldn't like that slot receiver, hips go down, ball goes out. Ball's right there. You can run back to it for a chance for a completion as well. Right here at a 2x2 against South Carolina. Game's already out of hand, but they're running their vertical switches here. You can see these safeties playing off right here. Milton starts over here, looks at the seam. Doesn't really like it. His bagger drops underneath it. Doesn't really have time to sit on that VR. He moves just a little bit in the pocket. On the other side, they're running the same thing. If you're looking at it, there's the bender. That could have been the better side to possibly throw the bender outside. This corner is sitting a little bit, so they're able to get over top of it. Most ridiculous thing right here is Milton getting out of the pocket and just watch his feet. He's falling back. He's throwing this thing off his back foot, gets torqued to it, rips it, and this is the most ridiculous throw I've seen all year. by far right there, rolling to his left off balance, and just rips the ball right there from about the 25 all the way down to probably about the 15. So that was about 60 yards in the air, and literally that's just a good chance to be able to throw the ball deep next year. It's gonna be a really fun team to watch with Joe Milton.